The unicorn is a rare mythical creature that has a single horn, and it's also a symbol of purity and grace. In this Procreate tutorial, we will draw a cute baby unicorn illustration in a magical forest. Before we begin, you can download the brush set and color palette free of charge via the link in the video description. And if you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. I've gone ahead and created a Procreate canvas. It has the size of 2000 by 2000 pixels, so it is a square. DPI is at 300, and current color profile is display P3 from RGB. I use it most of the time. This way our colors will look bright like this. The color palette is included in the tutorial bundle just as always, and of course we will need some brushes. Today we will practice using various chalk, charcoal and crayons. So here you will find a few textures from the spooky set that I shared right before Halloween on my Patreon. As an overlay, we are gonna use a couple of paper textures. The full set with papers is also available on Patreon. In addition to a bunch of premium brush sets, you will find in-depth Procreate drawing tutorials and tips on how to make your own brushes. So if you'd like to check them out, the link to my Patreon page is under this video, as well as download link for the free tutorial bundle. If you have everything downloaded already, it's high time to start drawing. And first of all, I'd like to switch to a darker background. For that we need to tap here on the background color, and when the color palette opens, just select color 1. Right after that, we can go back to the palette and grab a color to paint our cute baby unicorn. To make it pop from the dark background, I'll be using these pink tones. And as the base color, let me pick number 5, which is this off-white. In the brushes, let's try out soft charcoal. It is a texture brush of course, but with a low size it can be used for painting too. On the existing layer, let's draw the head. The brush size is at 7% for now. And it will look like this. We can call it a bell, a pear, or just an even rounded rectangle. In short, something very simple. Let's increase the brush size and color what we have just outlined. I'll adjust the lines with a smaller size. Then set it to 5% and draw 2 ears on top of the head. Unicorns are magical horses, so the ears will look like this. And go to the sides. Let me draw the other one. Make it very similar. And paint in the middle. As soon as it is ready, we can create another layer for legs and place it below. I'll increase the brush size back again and start painting from the left. Create these rough silhouettes first. Paint them. And then add these lines at the lower side of each leg. Now we can draw the hair on another layer above the head. As the base color for the hair, let's select number 10. And first create the outlines. For that I'm going to use dry ink from Inking. With the size set to 5%, let's draw the first curve on the right. It'll start from the middle of the ear and go like this. Then I will make sort of a circle here. And then draw another curve on the left side. Just like this. Now from this point, we need to go to the left side with a bigger curl. It may also go a little outside the head. Let's also add sort of a circle here. And then draw a bigger curl that will go up from this point. Like this. Now we can add a few strands. The one will go this way. I will also add a circle here. And then another one. It may start from this point And I will finish it with a short line. This way. Let's check out all the outlines, if it is connected. And if everything is fine, we can start dragging the color inside to fill the selection. If it fills a bigger area at your end, you may need to slide to the left to adjust color drop threshold. To me, it worked just fine. I will just make a few adjustments. And once you are satisfied with the shape, we can outline it again, but with a light yellow color. Let's grab it from the color palette, and it will be number 11. Here I also want to change the brush. This time it will be chalk liner from Unicorn. And this brush needs to be at lower size, at around 3% or so. Let's first outline the outer edges. So I'm starting from this point. And making a stroke here on the edge. Now we can make a curl inside. Let it look like this. Then I'm painting here. Let's outline the big part. This brush is pressure responsive, so the stroke will get wider if you press more. Let's now also go inside this circle and add this curl. Looks quite cute. Now it will go this way. Then I'm adding one more curl here. Let's make a line going up, just like this. Then a short one. And another curl inside the circle. Then I will just connect it here. I'm doing it slowly so you can follow along. I hope this helps. Okay. Now this part of the hair seems to be ready. Maybe we can just add a couple of elements, like a thin strand here, and another one. I'm just doing it with low pressure. And the last one on the right. Alright. I think it doesn't look like a unicorn yet, so maybe we can start painting the body here. So I will grab the color right from the ear, then go ahead and create a layer under all layers. Let's go back to soft charcoal brush, but this time we can make the size bigger, at around 16%. I will just start painting this way. Between the legs, and also on the right side. Let me lower the size a bit and make it more rounded. It's already looking better as we are shaping the body. Alright, we can now continue working on the hair and create another layer for it. This time it will be located under the head. So it will look like the ears are between these two parts. We can actually grab the same base color, this pinkish, then also dry ink from inking set, and create more outlines. Let's outline it this way first. Now it will go slightly upper than the previous part of the hair. Now let's go down from the ear. And make a curve like this. Now I will adjust it a little bit. And before dragging the color inside the shape, we need to make sure that all edges are connected, even behind the ears. And behind the head as well. Now we can try to fill this one. And it worked. Let's also create another layer for the outlines. And do it using 11th color. So I'm switching to chalk liner. And this time I will start with this curl. Finish it on this side. Then draw from the ear. On the upper edge. And on the side. Now I think it looks even better. Before we finish the hair, I think we can draw the eyes and two tiny nostrils to make it look alive. For that I will create a layer right above the head, so we will have some more space for shading. Then in the color palette, we can select color number 25 and continue using the same brush. Let me draw the first eye on the right side. I am making the first curve. And then we can add a smaller lash. To draw the second eye, I will go to canvas and first flip it horizontal. We did this because if you are right-handed like me, it will be more comfortable to draw from left to right. If you are left-handed, you can do the opposite. We can also draw the nostrils. Let me now flip the canvas back and continue drawing the hair. Actually, we only need to paint the tail. So let's create a new layer for it and place it under this part of the hair. I will be using the same pink color and dry ink brush. Let's try to make it very curvy. So first I will draw a curve on this side. It may go even lower. Then from here, it will go as another curve. I will connect these parts and fill. Now let me also create a layer above this one. Then grab yellowish color, that is number 11. And with chalk liner, I will add a few more curves. I will outline the edge on the left side. And after that, draw a curl inside the circle. Like this. Now we can add another one going from here. Then also outline the right edge. And I will add a smaller stroke. I think we can also add another one on this part of the hair that we didn't do before. It is layer number 7. And I will just make a smaller line, like this. Now that all shapes are ready, we can continue with the main thing that makes a unicorn a unicorn. Of course, it's a horn. To paint it, we can create a layer above this one and select this lemon color number 2. Let's just select soft charcoal brush from unicorn set and draw a shape resembling a carrot that is turned upside down. Here we can set the size to around 5 or 4%. I'll start drawing from here. First determine it with low pressure. So we have the outlines. I will make the tip rounded. And then go down like this. So it will look like a triangle that has rounded corners. We also need to connect it at the bottom. Let it go a little lower. And I will make it like an arc. Now that we have the shape, let's just paint it inside. So we will have the base that later we can shade. Let me work on the tip a bit more. I just want to make it a bit pointy maybe. And now it is fine. Now we have all the base shapes. And we can proceed to my most favorite part. It is shading. Actually, we can finish the horn. So let me create a layer on top of it and add a clipping mask. It's my favorite way of shading. So we can first add a highlight on the left side using color number 3. Let's also switch to melted crayon. Its opacity is at 70%. And we need to adjust the size. I think we can definitely use this one at 33%. And I will start making a stroke like this. Until it is highlighted. Now let's do this. Grab this dark color, number 4, and then lower the size. So here the size can be set to around 15%, and I will make the brush full opacity. I want to add these stripes. Let's make a stroke diagonally like this. Once again, and then add another one at some distance. So it will go all the way to the corner. And after we did that, we can add the final shading. I am keeping the same color, but we may need to create another layer. Also clip it. And for now I will set the blending mode to multiply. Let's lower the opacity to make it gradual. So we can set it to around 75%. Increase the size again. And start making a stroke on the right. Until we get a shadow like this. It will be applied both to the stripes and to the horn itself. On the edge we may need to press more. And also make a stroke at the bottom. Like this. If you like, you can play around with blending modes even more. And for example, set it to color burn or linear burn if you want to make it even darker. But actually multiply worked. We can now merge these layers. And before we start adding shadows to the hair and to the body, let me adjust the colors here a bit more. So we can go to adjustments and then to color balance. I just want to introduce some extra shades. If you tap here, we can switch between shadows, midtones and highlights. For now I will be working on the shadows, because I want to make the darker parts a little different color. So I will slide to green from magenta to get a shade like this. I think it looks even cooler now. So I'm deselecting and I will consider it done for now. Let's start working on the head. Here I also want to use a clipping mask. So let's go ahead and create it. I want to apply a couple of colors here and start with number 6. Here we have a choice. We can continue using melted crayon or try soft charcoal. I will go with charcoal brush first. Just lower the opacity to around 70% and set the size to around 50%. We need to make a stroke at the lower half of the snout, but apply very low pressure to make it almost invisible. Like this. After it got a little bit pinkish, we can change the brush to melted crayon. Also set the opacity to around 55% and size to around 47. Now I will start making strokes even lower, like this, shading the chin. We may go a little bit upper, especially on the right side. And on the left as well. With the same color, we can shade the ears quickly. So I will be using the help of selection. I removed color fill from here and picked freehand. Let's outline two areas inside the ears. On the right one it will go this way, parallel to the edge, and a little outside. We need to tap here to close it, and also we can outline the second ear, so it will go like this. Now it may go outside the ear. I will also tap on it, and then on the brush. Now it is activated. We may just need to make the size a bit smaller and start adding the shadow. Let me tweak it even more. Now it is at 20%, and I will start adding the shadow here, inside the selection. We can also add a stroke on the right edge, just a little bit. And after we did that, let's do the same on the left side. So I will first shade it this way, inside the selection that we created. Add this shadow, and then add another stroke on the edge, just like this. Now the ears are ready. We can grab a razor and set it, let's say, to soft charcoal. Just make the size lower and make an erasing stroke on the edge to make it soft. I will also do the same on the second ear. Now that we softened it, the ears are totally ready, and we can finish the snout. So here we can go even darker and select color number 7. Melted crayon is selected. Let's increase the brush size a little bit. And darken the edge even more. So now it will go like this. And I will make another stroke that will go up on this cheek. I think this chubby face looks very cute. Okay. I think this is ready now. We can finally add some blush on the cheeks. I will do it on another layer, in case it may need some adjustments. So I'm selecting color 8 and soft charcoal, because it has round texture, not rectangular like melted crayon, so it will work better. Let's adjust the size here. This one is too big, so it can be 14%, I think. And we just need to draw a couple of circles. The first one, and the other one on the opposite side. Okay, after we did that, let's go to the layer with the shadows and adjust them using Liquify from the Adjustments menu. We can adjust the shadow. I will make it go a little down on the side. And for that I'm using Liquify. Okay. Maybe to add some volume to the face, we can pick this light color, lower the size, And I will make the stroke on this cheek to add reflected light. It may go even more down on this edge. And now it is totally ready. We can merge all the layers for the head and go to this layer with the legs. Let's also add a layer with the clipping mask to it. And select color 6. Let's also first apply soft charcoal. I will start making strokes on the sides of the legs, both inner and outer, with very low pressure. Now we can grab a darker shade and apply it more. In the end, I will select color number 9 and draw at the bottom like this. These parts may go even upper. This one too. And after we did that, we can merge two layers. Now go here, and actually instead of creating a layer with a clipping mask, we can just go and alpha lock the layer. It will also work. Let's just go back to the 6th color first. Make the size bigger and start shading it on the sides. Also this one. Then I will go darker with number 7. Also shade it. Now let's pick the darkest tone from here. That will be number 9. I'll just lower the size and add the cast shadows under the legs. Like this. Then here, under this one, and on the right side. Now after we did that, let's merge these two layers and alpha lock it as well. Actually it is already locked. So all we need to do is add a shadow under the head. Like this. It will go all the way to the side. This way it will be applied both to the legs and to the body. Alright. Now it is ready. We can finish the hair. I want to start with this small part, so I'll create a layer above it and clip. We will apply a few colors here. From this, I think we can first add color number 15. And here I want to use melted crayon. The size will be set to 35%. And I will apply this base texture, making the strokes round. Now we can pick this dark tone, number 12, and start applying it for the shadow. It will go all the way up on this side. Then I will lower the size and start adding the shadows inside smaller shapes. For example, this one. Then it will also go down here inside the circle, on this one. Also, I will shade it slightly here, so I'm not pressing at all. And to add some volume, let's use selection. So I will separate these two strands, just outline it, and add a darker shadow like this. Now we can do the same here. So I will isolate this part and then make a stroke. Now it may go a little upper. It already got volume, so we can add even more colors. I want to use this one, number 14. Put it here. It may go slightly on the right side. And inside the strands, like this. This one. And this one too. Let me set it to full opacity, so the colors will get brighter right away. After we applied this color, we can also add number 13. Just a little bit. So now it looks very colorful, as unicorn should. I think this part is shaded enough, so I'll merge these two layers and go here. Let me also create a layer with a clipping mask above it, then clip it, and start applying these colors. I will also start with number 15. Apply it here on the side. Then it will also go up like this. And adding the texture entirely. Now let's go darker with number 12. I'm adding a shadow here, going up on the edge. Then I will shade this part and add a shadow under the horn. So we need to make the size smaller. I'll paint around it and go more to the sides. Now let's continue drawing this shadow. Also add it here. And a little bit on top. Now let's add color number 14. I will lower the opacity a little bit, highlighting this part. Also this circle. And I will make a stroke here in the center. Let's finally apply color number 13. So it will go on this side, highlighting it. Then I will add it here, lower the size, and add another stroke. Now this part is ready too. Let me merge these two layers and finish the tail the same way. I will be also using a clipping mask. Let me start with color number 15. I will just add this shadow, subtle texture. Now I will grab color number 12 from the palette and start darkening. So we can add a shadow right here and also on the top edge. I will draw close to these lines, then this one, and after that add some highlights, starting with the 14th color. Let me make a stroke this way, then also in the center of this part. And just a few more strokes. Let's finish it with color number 13. It will be the lightest one here. Now the tail is also ready. We can merge these two layers. And before we start drawing the background, let's add some final touches. So we can now definitely merge all the layers. I think I will create another one and select color number 11 first. It's the one we used for the outlines of the hair. So I will select dry ink brush, set its size to 5%, and start adding these dots. Around the line. I will add a few here, then under this one. They can be of different size. Actually, we can add another small line here, but I'll be using chalk liner, so it is all in harmony. Now I will grab dry ink again and add a couple of small elements here as well. Let's also do it here, on the big part of the hair. I'm just pressing. And it will add some magic, I think. Because unicorns are magical creatures. I also want to do the same on the horn, but here I will change the color into the slight one. Let's first draw a line with chalk liner. It will go through the center. Then I will grab dry ink brush and start adding these dots here too. Now it is completely ready. We can merge these two layers. And after that create a layer under the unicorn. So we can start working on the background. Let's first select the last color. And we haven't tried original chalk brush from Procreate yet. It is in calligraphy set and it is actually very good. Put the size to 60% and paint this area under the unicorn. Also on the right side. And after that paint it completely. Then we will need another layer to paint a couple of bushes. The one on the left side will have this dark green color. Let's also paint inside it. And the one on the right side will be a bit lighter. So I'm selecting color number 18 and painting like this. We can make it a bit curvy at the bottom. And finish painting. Before shading them, let's add another row of bushes behind, creating a new layer under this one. And here we can use the blue shade number 20. Let's just paint two more simple shapes behind the unicorn. The first one. It may go a little lower. And then the other one on the left. Now let's also paint the trees. We will need even more layers, so let's create it somewhere here, still under the unicorn. I will start with the lightest color, that will be number 16. And it will have a few layers. Here comes the first one. And then one more. Let me just paint it. And then I will go ahead and create a layer underneath. Grab the next color and paint two more shapes. One of them will be here. Let's paint inside it. And then another one on the left. Now let's switch to the next color, number 18. Make another layer below this one. And paint the last two shapes. Let's make one in the center. I'm not making perfect arcs here. And then I will draw on the left. Now we only need to paint the trunk. Let's also do it on another layer, for more comfortable shading later. For the base color I'm going to select 22. Let's lower the size a little bit, so we can paint the branches. They may go this way. Then another one here. And a couple more. Let's connect these two. Then also this. And draw the last branch. Then it will go down as a trunk. And also on the left side. Let's increase the size to paint it. It will go all the way down. And then I will also move it down in the layers. Place it under the bushes, like this. This trunk is ready. Let's add a smaller one on the left. So I will also paint a couple of branches. The one will go from here. And then another one on the right. We need to connect them. And finish the trunk. That will go down as well. Let's paint it this way. And when the shapes are ready, we can proceed to shading. Before that, we can add some magical glow behind the unicorn. For that, we need to create a layer under all layers. right above the background color. Then select color number 2 from the palette, and using soft charcoal brush, paint a circle behind the unicorn like this. The brush size is set to 72%. Let's make this circle, and after that apply Gaussian blur. I will set the amount to 45%, and then move it a bit down, like this. To add even more magic, we can put a few stars. So I'm selecting this light color number 5, creating another layer above this one, and to make it faster I'm going to use chalky star stamp. Let's start with 4%, tap somewhere here between the trees, then lower it, rotate the canvas, and tap a few more times. Let's also put a couple of stars on the right side here, and on the left side we will place the moon. Let me put a star here, and then the last one. I will make it even bigger, like this. Actually, on the same layer we can paint the moon. I will just switch to soft charcoal brush, set it to full opacity, and lower the size. Then just paint a circle like this. Let's make it even bigger and make it look like a circle, but with very soft edges. Alright, I think now it is fine. Maybe I will just move it a bit down. So we need to outline it first, and then drag. Alright, now it's fine. Let's duplicate the layer. Go to this one, and alpha lock it to recolor. I want to use color 26. Then tap fill layer, remove alpha lock, and blur it a little bit. We can even duplicate the layer to see it better. Alright, this part is done. Let's continue working. We can now merge these layers, then go to the layer with the ground and apply alpha lock. Then I will select the background color number 1 and soft charcoal. It is at full size and opacity. Let's apply this color at the bottom. Also go up here to add the shadow from the bush, and on the opposite side as well. Now let's lower the size a bit and paint the shadow under the unicorn. It will go slightly down like this. Okay, this part is ready. Let's go to the layer with dark bushes, also alpha lock it, and use the same color for shading. I will just make the size bigger again, paint on the left side of this bush, and on this one. We can add a subtle shadow here. Let's also add a highlight. For that I will select color 17, lower the size, and make a stroke on top of each bush, like this. Let's paint on this one, and add a subtle highlight, this way. When these two are ready, we can work on these two. So I will also alpha lock the layer, then grab color 20, increase the brush size, and apply it on this bush on the left. We can also add the darker shade number 1. Like this. Let's not forget to add a highlight, also using color 17. We need to make the size smaller, and then make a stroke here. Now this one is highlighted too. Let's finish the one on the right. We can paint the light color here. Then switch to number 19 and add a shadow. It will go down like this. After that we can select color number 16 and apply it for the highlight on this edge. Okay, now these two are ready. Let's paint the trees. I will start with the trunks. So I'm locking the layer. And here we can apply these two shades, 23 and 24. Let's start with the dark one. Also in the brushes, I will switch to melted crayon. Let me set the size to around 60%. And first shade the sides of the trunk and the branches. I will make a stroke this way. Also on this branch. And on this too. Now we can add a couple of strokes on this side. Then switch to the light color number 24. Maybe lower the size a bit. And start highlighting. Here I will make it wider to make it more highlighted. Then we can add it here on the branch. Also on this one. And a little bit on the sides. In the end, I will make a couple of strokes in the center. Mostly at the lower part. Like this. I think enough for this tree. Let's finish this one. So I'm also highlighting it on the edge. And then I will make a stroke in the center. We can then add a highlight here. Alright, just final details. Let's use the same color, but switch to chalk liner. Its size is at 3%. The layer is still alpha locked. And I will start making curves inside the trunk. Like this. Let me draw on the second trunk. Then I will select dark color and do the same between the lines. Let me make the size a bit bigger. And go down. Just a couple of more lines. And now the trunks are ready. Let's quickly shade these parts with the foliage. I will grab melted crayon from brushes. Go to the top layer, alpha lock it. And first apply color 17. Set the size to maximum. And start making circular strokes along the shapes. Now we can go slightly darker. Put color number 18. Also on this one. Then switch to 19. And put it slightly in the edges. Now we can go back to the 16th color, lower the size, and highlight the edges. Here too. Let's go to the next layer. Also apply alpha lock to it. And here we can start with the shade number 18. Let's also make circular strokes like this to make the shapes darker. Then grab the next color and put it this way. Let me apply it here. And on this too. We can even add color 20. I will put it in this corner. And also on this one, to make it even darker. Now for the highlight, let's select color 17 and add it on the edge. Also on this one. Now we only need to shade these two. So I'm locking the layer, selecting this dark color, number 19, and shading it this way. Both of them. Now let's also add this darker tone. Here. And finally apply highlight. Here I will add color 17 as well. Just made the size smaller. And painting on the edge. Like this. Let's also highlight this one. And now the shading is done. We can add some final touches to the drawing. So we can actually merge all the layers for the foliage together with the bushes. Then create a layer above it and clip. Let's grab this color that is yellowish and speckle brush. We can set the size to around 40%. And just tap on the shapes. Now on the bushes, I will first grab color 18, increase the size a little bit, tap here, maybe lower the opacity, and on this one, I will apply color 16, also tap. And in addition to this, I want to add some final details manually. So let me create one more layer, clip it, and first I will try to set it to overlay. Let me select white color and dry ink. I will start adding some spots. Also on this one. Just a few here. And on the foliage. Let me try to set it to soft light. I think it looks better. Actually, if we unclip the layer, we can add the spots on the ground. I will just increase the size and start painting here. Let's add a few on the left side. And then I will lower the opacity. As the final step, I will add paper overlays. For that we need to create a layer on top of all layers. First I will select black color from the palette. And in the unicorn set, let's pick grainy paper. I will set it to soft light and apply it on the canvas. We will get a texture like this. But I want to create another layer and set this one to screen. This time we can select white color and another paper. Let's also add it. And after that lower the opacity. I will set it to 47%. So this is a combination of two paper textures. As an alternative, copy canvas and paste. I just want to show you another way of presentation. So let's tap and hold here. Change the background color. Can be some off-white or light grayish. Then we can scale it. After that, duplicate and turn the layer below into a shadow. So I will make it pure black and after that blur it. Let's set Gaussian blur to around 10% and after that move it. Now we can lower the opacity a little bit. And after this final step, our cute unicorn drawing is complete. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. For more tutorials and brush sets, check out my Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon!